Hi and welcome to RC Copter Love. Today I want to explain you why I am sure that it's very important to fly different sizes and types of helicopters. I was beginning my whole journey with this model, with the OMPHOBBY M2. It was an Explorer at the time when I was buying it, and it was, until today, I think it was the best decision because it is a simple model for a beginner. I was flying at that time, 2 years or 2.5 years ago. I was flying with the OMP-T6 transmitter. It was a ready to fly transmitter. So I was really taking out the machine. I was plugging in a battery. I was following the very simple instruction to bind the helicopter to the transmitter, and I was able to fly. And because there was no programming in this transmitter, I was really able to concentrate on the flying only. After a few weeks, I fell so much in love with this M2. I was buying a little M1, even smaller, but the same principle. With this transmitter I had only one model, I had only one transmitter, one model, so I could fly with the M1 or the M2, the same settings and everything was the same. So really I was switching the transmitter on, plugging in the battery, binding the helicopter, and I was flying. And it was strange. For some reason I felt more comfortable with this smaller machine, because especially, I tell you why, because I was concentrating very much on nose-in hovering to learn this, and the nose-in hovering when the helicopter was facing me was much less, was making me much less fear when it was this small machine. So many things went easier with this machine. I felt I have some more control. It's very agile, this machine. So for some months I was flying mainly this M1, and then I was coming back to the M2, and this year I was ready for the next challenge. It's the M4. It was my first kit I had to build by myself, and I have to say it was really the right order in which I was preparing myself for this hobby, because building a kit is not very difficult, but it provides many challenges. So you have to be mechanically able to build all these parts together. But for me the most difficult, and I had the great help of my friend Matthias, I made a video about this, and other pilots, that I received help connecting the flybarless system, the receiver, because everything is separate, the ESC, the electronic speed control. So you had to connect this all, you had to do the wiring by yourself. Everything what is in these machines done when they are coming from the factory, you just have to pack them out and they are ready to go. So everything you have to do with these machines by yourself. So this was a challenging thing, but I have to tell you, since I have this M4, I love to fly it, and I'm flying now, I would say 80% of my flights are with this M4, because it's a fantastic machine. And the good thing in having different sizes and calibers of helicopters is that you understand the whole process of flying differently. So every of these helicopters, these are all three models, the small one as well, they are collective pitch helicopters. So to fly them, you are able, if you are able to fly the M1, you are able to fly the M2, and you are able to fly the M4, but every of these machines has a little bit different flight characteristics. So this machine, for instance, we had some more wind. Now I think now it's better, even with the microphone. My wife is filming again, you will hear me better. So the bigger the machine is, the more stable it is in the wind. It's because of the higher mass. This helicopter has about 1,350 kilogram ready to flight weight. This helicopter has, with battery, 350 gram in total, so 1 kilogram less. And this little bird has 130, I think, gram, or 140 grams, something about this, I don't know exactly now. But you see the difference is big. And of course this provides that every machine reacts a little bit different. This machine is fantastic agile, so every cyclic input is already transmitted to the helicopter, but in general, because of the higher mass and the bigger rotor disc, it's reacting a little bit slower, so it gives you a little bit more time, so you can train different things that are a little bit more difficult with the small helicopters. Other things are more difficult because you have another weight ratio, so if you want to do big loops, you have to have some experience because you have a higher mass that you are throwing through the air. Everything is reacting different. So with every of these 3 different helicopters, you learn and train something different, and it makes you a more versatile pilot, so you can do more things and you have more experience. It's maybe the same with cars. So somebody who's a professional driver and he drives one day with the Mercedes, the next day he sits in a BMW. He will drive with all these cars a little bit better if he knows only one car and he was learning to drive only this one car. So it's maybe something you can compare. And now it's enough talking. I want to show how they are flying. Today it's a windy day, but it's a fantastic day for flying. It's sunny, it's warm. So I want to go now to show you flying. First the M4 in a different order, then the M2, and then at the end the M1. Okay, see you. Let's start with the M4. It is really windy, and the most important is to take off in a windy day, because then the wind is picking brutally the rotor disc. But I try at once a flip. A little better than last time, even in the wind. And what I love very much is flying high with the helicopter. You cannot expect that your flights will be extremely smooth because the wind is throwing you around, and it's rather a little play with the wind, with the power of the wind. I sometimes have the feeling the helicopter is a ball that I throw into the wind. I try another flip and a small roll. And you see, even in such winds like today, you can do such things. They will not be ideal, the same like a loop. I can try a loop now, but it will not be a loop from the picture book. So because the heli will be thrown around and picking it up is more difficult, but I think that was already enough for you to see how the M4 is flying in the wind. And we are going to bring the machine down. This is the most important moment in such winds. You see how the wind is throwing it down, but when you're hitting throttle hold, everything is okay. So we go to the M2. And now I show you how the M2 Evo is working in such high winds. It is crazy fun to fly this machine because somehow it's more affected by the wind, but on the other side you see it's blown to the left because the wind is coming from the right, but on the other side it is, I don't know, it's like a small bird, and it gives you more flexibility. And now I tried with the backflip. A little bit falling, too much. Again, too much. I think too much stick input. but somehow the wind is playing also its role, and now some looping with this M2. It will be not very visible because of its size, I guess, but maybe you will see something. It is fantastic fun to fly such a small but unbelievable powerful helicopter in such conditions. I make a small roll, a little bit out of control because of the wind, but you have to feel it. It is if you have some experience, this flying in the winds is unbelievable great. I love it. Of course I love as well days without wind, but now in autumn these days will be a little bit more seldom. So let's bring this machine down, and the last machine today will be the M1. Okay, let's go to the M1. And now let's see how my little mosquito, the M1, does in this wind. It's really a small mosquito, even the sound. Let's begin with our favorite thing, the backflips. Oh, somehow it works. And let's do a roll into the wind. Oh, I had to catch it a little bit. But you see, even this crazy autumn wind does not stop me from having fun with this little baby. Once in the beginning I was far away from doing such things. Oops. Oh, that was a little bit, I was not used that the M1 has a little bit less power reserves than the M2. And this is not caused by the motor, this is caused rather by the battery system. It's a 2S battery. In flipping you don't feel it, but after doing some loops or something the power is missing, and I was not, to be honest, flying this machine since, I don't know, 2 months. So it's the second fly today with this machine, and somehow it worked. So you see, M4, M2, M1, all are doing a great job in the wind, and flying them all, interchanging, so once the M4, once M2, once the M1, made me, I think, helped me to get a better pilot, because I understand better what helicopters, collective pitch helicopters without stabilization mode and any other help, are really doing and how they work. So I hope you liked this video, and if you liked it, just give me a like. If you like it very much, as always, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you again. RC Copter Love. Bye.